Vernon Broughton of Texas asked the toughest player he faced this year. He named you. Have you seen that, number one? If you have a player like that,
I mean, it means a lot. He's a really good football player, really good defensive lineman, and going into that game, we knew that if we wanted to win that game, we had to control him. So that coming from him means a lot.
I say about your play overall, has nobody what they think about your play, about your defense.
Yeah, I think that speaks volumes for how I play. Like I said, he's a really good defensive lineman, and for him to be able to say that about me means a lot. Yeah. I know they appreciate it. I know a lot in this day and age, as soon as something pops up, people are really quick to drop out and tap the top of their helmet. But it was really important for me and to get back with those guys and that team and play as much as I could for them.
Tate, a couple guys have name dropped you about just being your like brothers to them. Arian Smith, Jared Wilson talked about it today. Just talk about your relationship with some of these guys who are here with you right now.
Yeah, so that was one of my favorite things about Georgia is the relationships I've built. And these guys being here are some of my best friends that I'll have for the rest of my life. And I came in with Arian. Jared, we've been in the same room for 4 years. So I was really easily able to build a connection with them. And just being here with these guys is awesome.
Tate, as a Georgia guy, what was it like for you to watch Brock Bowers do what he did at the next level, and what makes him so special?
I mean, I think everybody saw it coming. I mean, I got to see it every day at practice, every Saturday on game day. But I think about him just the way he works. He's a humble guy. He's just a great person in general. And seeing him do this at the next level is just amazing. Obviously, leaving with 2 national championships and then being voted team captain last year. That was one of my goals coming back. So those 3 things are what I'm most proud of. I have. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a lot about knowing the guys that you are having to talk to. I knew there were some guys I could approach differently than other guys. It could be more aggressive, more to the point. And other guys it was more encouraging, picking up. So it's kind of just knowing the people around you and knowing how you can approach them and talk to them. Yeah, Cedric Van Pran. I was in the same room as him when he was our solidified leader of the team. So kind of just watching him and seeing how he handled situations really helped me come in this year. Yes. Informal. It went really well. That helps me be a better football player. Turkey hunting makes you more patient. I think the same way with football. You're not going to see success right away, but if it's something you keep at, eventually it's going to work out for you. Yeah. I think it'd be awesome to play with any former teammate in the league. I mean, kind of like these guys here, I have great relationships with most everybody in the league, so being able to go play with those guys would be awesome. Yeah, informal.
What's the biggest thing that you're trying to get across to teams on why they should draft you this week? And have you met at all with Cincinnati?
Yes, I think I'm one of the tougher guys in this draft. I think me coming back from what I've came back from this past year shows that. They're getting a physical, smart, hard-working player. Yes.
The Eagles seem to have draft like 6 drafts as many Bulldogs as possible, and they won the Super Bowl. Why is it such a good idea to draft so many Bulldogs?
I mean, I think the culture Coach Smart's built. I mean, it has not been once since I've been there. I mean, you're going to be held to a standard. You're going to be held to the standard, and no matter who you are, no matter what you do, that standard's the standard. And if you're not met, you're going to be called out for it.
Jared Wilson said you might be at a wedding one day.
Yeah. You said Jared? Yeah, Jared will also be at my wedding. But no, Jared's a great kid. He's a great guy to be around. He's become one of my best friends since I've been at Georgia. And we hang out a lot. Since we've been here, we've been together the whole time. So he's a great guy, and I love being around him. Yes, it went really well. Yeah. I mean, that means a lot. I feel like to be a good offensive lineman, you've got to have a little bit of that in you, but know how to control it at the same time. So for somebody to say that's something about me, I appreciate it because I feel like that's how I play. I mean, Coach Luke was one of the bigger reasons I committed to Georgia, and obviously, or Coach Pittman, and he left 7 days before signing day. And I remember he called me and told me, he's like, Georgia's the place for you. That's where you need to go. That's where you're going to get developed the most. So that phone call is one of the big reasons I ended up going with Georgia. And then Coach Pittman and Coach Searles, there's a big difference between both of them. Coach Searles has a lot more aggressive coaching style, which is something I really appreciate because that's how I've been coached my whole entire life with my dad and everything. But no, both are great coaches. Both do a great job, just a little bit different in coaching styles. Yeah, I think so. It takes some people to get used to it just because they haven't been coached like that before. But for me, it was a really quick adjustment. Like I said, that's how I've been coached my whole life, and I feel like that's how I respond best.
Tate, I know there were a lot of injuries, and at times the offensive line wasn't in sync. So you hear a lot from the lunatic fringe about Coach Searles. What would you tell those fans that question the coach here, the future of that line?
I mean, if you watch that film, most of it's on us. It's not coaching. It's execution, taking the right steps, the little things. And so I think a lot of our success or not having success last year was more so on the players, and that starts up front with us. And everybody knows we didn't have our best year, and we take full accountability for that. I have not, but I had informally as well.
What would the legacy of this year's team be? I mean, you won a couple national titles, a couple of SEC championships. How do you want people to remember the 2024 Bulldogs?
Oh, man, I think a team that fought through adversity. I mean, we had really tough road games, some really tough losses, and we always bounced back. Ended up winning an SEC championship. So for me and this team, it was all about battling adversity that whole year. We were beat up. We had several things to overcome, and I think we did a tremendous job handling that as well as we could.
I don't want to say any of them were easy, but was this the toughest campaign to lose the championship?
Oh, for sure. Since I've been playing, yes, for sure. I mean, there were tough road games at Alabama, at Ole Miss. I mean, and those are also two really good football teams on top of that. So that doesn't help make it any easier.
Hey, speaking of tough road games, does one speak out more than the other? Is maybe the toughest?
So the toughest, I would say, at Alabama, I didn't play, but that environment was rocking. They had it rocking in there, which was expected. I mean, it's the first time we played there since 2020, and that was a COVID year. So, but no, that place was jumping. It was an impressive environment. Yeah. So after this season, my whole goal was getting as healthy as I possibly could. And at that time, I didn't want to risk anything happening to my rehab process and set me back even more. So now, 100% healthy. Then it was close, but I didn't want to go down there and risk anything. Doing everything.
Kirby talked about mental bandwidth because of that schedule. Can you talk about what that was like to face one heavyweight after another?
Yeah, I mean, in the SEC, you're going to play good football teams every week, and we just so happen to have the top of the top in the SEC pretty much every week. But for me, going into that, it was fun because it's competition, and that's what you look forward to. And playing at those places was awesome, and it was kind of just finding the fun in the little things. Like you have an opportunity to go play in a really cool place against a really good team, and the next week you get to do the same thing.
Tate, if they asked you what playlist you want to focus on, what you have on there?
Oh, it doesn't matter to me. I can work out to anything.
What kind of music do you like?
You name it, I've listened to it. Yeah, it's everything.
So what is the secret to maintaining perfect flow?
I kind of just wake up, wash it, and brush it, and it kind of just does its own thing back there. I just let it go. Some days it's better than others.
So it's not that hard to maintain?
No, it's not that bad.
Is it product or use product?
Yeah, just shampoo and conditioner. Yeah, that's about it. It doesn't matter to me. I love playing football. I just want to go play football.
Hey, you were kind of the Carson Beck whisperer. Obviously, a lot's happened with Carson.
Yeah.
Injuries, transfer. What would you tell people about Carson? He does seem a bit misunderstood.
Carson's a great kid. I mean, obviously, Carson's one of my best friends since I've been at Georgia. We lived with each other for 3 years. So me and him obviously have a different relationship. So I knew how to approach Carson in different times and knew how the way I talked to him would affect him in that time. So that was kind of my goal throughout the season, was keep him as level-headed as possible. Carson's a great kid and very misunderstood.
Where do you think he'll be standing next year when he finishes up in Miami as far as the NFL draft and his future?
I mean, I think Carson has the opportunity to be the top quarterback coming out next year. I mean, he's shown it before. He just had a little bit of an off year this past year, and that's nothing against him. But I think him going down there is a great place for him to go rebound what happened this past year and go have a great year.
Tate, you talked about getting healthy, not being in the Senior Bowl. What is your process look like to get in shape? Have you been laying off Dean Ratledge's famous pancakes?
Yeah, haven't had a chance to have any of those. Probably will after this whole process is over. But for me, it's living in the training room, just doing as much strengthening as I can, getting everything back. And right now, like I said, I feel better than I have in a long time. So ready to go out here and perform tomorrow. And yeah, I was just living in the training room, and then just once I felt really good, just attacking it like I always have. I'd say my mental toughness. I know in the fourth quarter that you're going to be a lot more worn down than I am.
Okay, you had a lot of great battles in the SEC. Is there anyone you look forward to going up against again in the NFL?
I'd probably say just former teammates. I mean, you get to see them in practice every day. I think it'll be kind of cool to see them in a game-like situation. I'd probably say like the Warren Brinsons, the Nazes, and of course every D lineman that's been in and out throughout the years. The guys at the Eagles, those are all guys I've built great relationships with, and I think it'd be cool to see them in a game.
Tate, what do you bring into the NFL?
I'm a glue guy. I mean, I feel like I'm a guy that has a great relationship with most people, and I'm a good guy that's really easy to know. So for me to go into the locker room, I feel like I fit in with a lot of people and can make relationships with a lot of people, just like I did at Georgia. So, oh, you're good.
What's Georgia football going to look like without guys like you, Walker, and Michael, and Carson?
I mean, Coach Smart, I think, does a really good job of development and getting people where they need to be to have a good football team. So we have never doubted what we're going to have the next year as far as leadership, physical toughness, mental toughness, stuff like that. So Coach Smart's going to find a way to pull it out of somebody.
What do you make of what Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith were able to do in the Super Bowl?
I mean, I saw it every day at practice. They made my life not so fun for 3 years, but both of them, I mean, tremendous football players, and seeing them do that in the league made me feel a little bit better about myself, what they did to me to practice sometimes.
Can you explain kind of what it was like to go up against Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith and those guys in practice?
I mean, it wasn't fun. I mean, it was fun, but like I had better times playing football. I mean, Jalen is obviously a generational talent, and he showed that daily at practice. I mean, we'd be in the film room, and I'd ask Coach what I was supposed to do, like technique-wise. He's like, don't block him. So that's the kind of player he is. And then Nolan's one of the most physical presence I've ever played at on a football field. So seeing them have great success is no surprise to me. No. He has no bodily regard. He's gonna. How much does he weigh? However much he weighs, he's gonna throw every bit of it into you. It doesn't matter who's running at him. He's gonna try to melt your face mask every time.
Hey, what do you think about spring games? Some of the programs around the country canceling those games. How important is GA for the players? And do you think that's something that should happen?
I mean, I love G-Day personally. I mean, it's another chance to go compete on a bigger stage, I guess. Of course, it's seen as kind of like a glorified practice, but, I mean, you're in front of a crowd. You get to go compete in Sanford Stadium, and I've come to realize those run out pretty fast, so you look forward to every one of those.
You got some attention recently for making comments about Ohio State. I was curious if you talked to any of those guys this week, if they had anything to say.
Actually, Seth just messed with me about it right before I walked out here, so it was kind of funny. I told him it was nothing against him, but, yeah, just something I grew up like.
What was it that sparked that hate for Ohio State for you?
I would rather not speak on that. I've already had enough comments on that.
Can you talk about the difference of playing in the 14 playoff versus 12-team playoff?
I mean, it's just a longer season. You know what you're getting into before the season. Obviously, it was new, it was different. And, of course, having that month off if you get the first-round bye is really weird. You don't play football. You practice, obviously, but you can't simulate a game.
Which format do you think was better?
I mean, we won 2 national championships in the 4 teams, so I'm going to say the 4 team.
Is it fair to say that because of the SEC schedule and what you have to do to get to the SEC championship games, that it's harder to win an SEC championship than maybe a national title when you can finish 4th place in your conference?
I mean, we have said that before. Coach, that's something Coach Smart's always told us. It's harder to win an SEC championship than it is a national championship. He told us throughout his years he has more national championships than FCC championships. So, I mean, I guess with us, I mean, facts prove it. So, yeah, it's definitely it's a challenge.
The offensive lineman that we're going to be talking about next last year that you don't know about right now?
I'll have to get back and watch some spring ball. I'm not really sure right now, but I know they have a great group coming up, and I know Coach Searles is going to do a great job with them.
What's the difference going to be for Ernest once he's healthy? We know that he played very last year also.
I mean, I think Ernest has one of the most natural feet and natural sets I've ever seen in my life. He's obviously a great player, and once he gets healthy, I think he's going to be a tremendous player.
Micah Morris, you got to see a little bit of him. What's coming from him?
Micah is also a tremendous physical presence when it just comes to his size, his strength. So I think he could really take over any game he wants to with his size and strength. It was good. Oh, of course, when I was little, they put a dot on my head, so I couldn't do anything else. But I always wanted to do. So in 8th grade, I think I played tight end, and then thought that was going to be my position. Got to high school. They said, nope, you're going to play left tackle. So there I went.
Tate, how much did you enjoy the podcast? Is that something you think you'll carry into the NFL, doing a lot of the media stuff like that?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I've come to enjoy it, especially with Brett. Brett's obviously got a great personality. So it's been a lot of fun, and we started it a few years ago, and I've loved it ever since. Remember when I first started, I didn't know how much I really liked it, but I've really come to like it. Shout out to Bobby. Yes, it's definitely something I could see myself doing in the future.
Maybe getting to know the teammates. I guess the one I think about is the one you did with ETN. That seems like a pretty special.
Yeah, I knew as soon as Trevor got there, he had a tremendous personality, and I was like, we got to get this guy on the podcast. I mean, he does a great job. Just he got to know everybody in that locker room, and getting him on there was cool just to know his life story, where he came from, how he got to Georgia, how he ended up leaving Florida, stuff like that.
Talk about doing a podcast. What did you learn from starting to as you went down the road in terms of like preparation instead of just like throwing the ball out and talking about it?
I mean, I kind of think that's like what one of the staples of our podcast is not really being scripted. I mean, we have a few things here and there, but me and Brett get to talking, and there's no telling where that conversation goes. So I think that's one of the cooler things about ours is kind of more free flow, and of course we have stuff to get us back on track because we like to get off track a lot. But that's one of the better things about ours, I think.
Last question here. Enjoy South Africa.
Either I enjoy football.
Thanks, Steve.
Yep. Thank y'all. All right. Yep.